Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video on the HP Pavilion 15 gaming laptop. We are going to be, I'd already cracked this thing open, or at least I got the screws off and I unhinged the back panel already, so all I really need to do is just lift this up. But we are going to be upgrading the RAM today, and I had just recently purchased some RAM from Crucial, notebook sized of course. We are upgrading the RAM of the laptop, of course, so you want to buy laptop RAM. And this one takes DDR4 3200 Hertz SODIMM. I think that's how you pronounce it, SODIMM, like Sodom and Gomorrah. I feel like that's how you should pronounce it, but it's like I forgot what it was called. It's a non-something SODIMM. I'll add the link in the description for this particular RAM, but it's 2 times 8 gigabytes, or 2 by 8 gigabyte RAM, so in total 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now the Pavilion model that we got, it already comes with one 8 gigabyte RAM card and then one empty slot, so we're gonna have to take the one that it comes with out and then replace it with these two, because you always want to have the same pair, even if they're the same, like, memory size of RAM, like, since it already has 8 gigabytes and these are both 8 gigabytes, we have to still remove the one that's already in there. I mean, it depends on the laptop too, but most of the time, rule of thumb, like I mentioned in my previous video, I think, you always want to install the same RAM card, so always buy it in a pair. And let's lift up the cover now. Alright, I'll set this down. Just set this over here for now. And let's try and open this ahead of time. This will give you guys some time to look at the internals, or at least the layout for this. Now, this is the 1 terabyte SSD 2.5 inch factor that I had installed, a factor 2.5 inch drive that I installed in its 2.5 inch form factor SATA bay. Okay. And I'm just installing RAM today, so I don't really have to take out anything aside from the already installed RAM that it comes with. So now, just to lay out, this is the battery. Somebody asked me what type of charger this thing comes with. I'll just comment them back again to know what it is, or to let them know what it is. But I as far as I know, just from the top of my head, it's a 150 watt hour battery, or 150 hour watt battery. So I mean, there's not much else that I know about it. So I gotta take a look again at that label. I guess later after this video. But yeah, this is the battery. It's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. And you can obviously see the two fans. I believe this thing, actually, I'm not entirely sure. I think this thing right here, is this the Wi-Fi card? This is something that I'm not entirely sure what it is. But yeah. This tape right here is actually covering our RAM that we're going to have to tamper in a moment, or at least until I can get off, or get this tape off. It's just a protective, I guess, electrical tape, but we are just going to remove the parts that, or at least the parts of the tape that's covering the RAM slot. again, this is how it was already packaged, and as much as I don't want, like, ruining the original state or physical state of things, we're going to have to do this in order to install the upgraded RAM. Now, you know, most RAM cards, they usually have a sticker on here that when removed, it voids the warranty on it. But, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get this off of there. Ugh. Off of there. I had a little tongue twister. What in the world kind of accent was that? But yeah, I'm not going to pull this tape back any further, because under here is actually the M.2. I think this is the part that's actually moving, like a teeter-totter right now. That's the heat shield. But under that heat shield is the M.2 drive, the NVMe M.2 SSD, with the one that it comes with, which is 256 gigabytes. And that's what it uses to boot up with, I believe. No, I'm still new to this, but just gotta lift up these hinges here, have that thing pop up, and it pops up at a 15-degree angle, and we just remove it, like so. Now this is the, oh wow, this is a Samsung 8 gigabyte. Oh shoot, I think I went right back on there. Alright, that's whatever. This is the RAM that it comes with. Have you guys take a closer look at that. It is a Samsung. It's 8 gigabyte. It's PCIe 3200. And it should be a DDR4 RAM card. And I actually have no idea what I'm going to do with this. Just maybe save it as backup. I mean, what else are you supposed to do with the spare RAM lying around? But yeah, we are going to now install the other two from Crucial. I guess we could just put this right there, since we will no longer be using that. And how am I supposed to approach this? Alright. Now you want to match up the prong. You can see the notch there. And the pins. I believe it's like 200 something pins. Can't remember the exact number. But you insert it in a similar fashion at a 15-degree angle. Make sure it slots in. And then we can press down on it until it clicks. Oh, wait, hold on. Don't want to be too it should click in like that. And I think it's a snug fit. Now we just do the same for the other side, thus making the total RAM now 16. Is there? Oh wait. Does this one go in like this? As long as it matches the pins. Because I don't think I can just insert it the other way. It's not symmetrical, of course. So there's only really one proper way of putting this in. And I'm pretty sure it's this way. And now we just do the same. Oh wait, no. It has to go further in there. Has to go in there at an angle. Am I doing this wrong? I feel like you never want to force things. I feel like I'm forcing it. Hold on. I believe the prongs aren't out. Let's try this again. It's at an angle. Yeah, just push down. There we go. A little cringy, I know, but it's the first time I'm actually ever inserting RAM into something. That is a little bouncy, but I think that's the spring should be a good sign that it's inserted properly. And now we could just reapply the tape and call it a day. Okay, that should be good. The new RAM installed. We are Gucci. So, all that inserted. Can now reattach, or at least replace the cover. I'm pretty sure everything is in place, in its proper place. Just trying to firmly press down, firmly grasp it, Squidward. Firmly grasp the jellyfish net. Okay. I believe it's all clicking in the right places, all the necessary places. That's pretty much straightforward. So I believe now it has been inserted properly, or replaced properly. Okay, so now we just have to apply the screws. Just put this one aside, the Samsung 8GB RAM. Okay, now for those of you who've also been asking what type of screws I use these from a eyeglass repair kit that my mom had purchased, and they are Magic Fly is the brand. So these two heads that I use are Phillips screw heads. If the camera can focus on them properly. And they're pretty much these sizes, 2.5 by 25 millimeter and a 2.0 by 25 millimeter. I use the bigger one for obviously the larger screws, the 4 larger screws, and then the smaller one for the 3 smaller screws. And let's just replace those screws. Let's do the big ones first. There we go. And just reapply the screws. My own saying is that when you're trying to re-screw things, always do it until you meet resistance. Don't apply any more twist into it, unless if you really need it to be tighter than it should. But, you know, until you meet resistance, should be on tight enough, honestly. It'll specifically take a screwdriver to unscrew these screws, so you shouldn't be worried about screwing them on too loosely. And now for the small ones. Actually, let's just, oh, forgot. Yeah, I think these screwdrivers have like a magnetic property. almost done. Just gotta make sure that these are on tight enough. Okay. Alrighty. We should be good. Okay, if you guys are wondering why I have a guitar pick here, is that when you've removed all the screws and you're trying to get the panel off, you actually need this to like something as thin as a guitar pick, or I think a credit card would be too thick. A guitar pick, this is I think a .60 size. This should be thin enough to allow you to pretty much use it as a wedge to kind of pry open all the notches that hold down the back panel. So yeah, if you have a guitar pick layer or something as thin as this, but it's still sturdy enough, you know, obviously you're not going to use a sheet of paper. I would use that. That would be, unless if you already have like a prying tool, it's, you know, specifically for that purpose. Then yeah, I improvise with my dad's guitar pick, so. But don't tell my dad that. I'm sure he has like extras lying around. What was that? I always hear something like that. Some sort of clicking. Okay. So now that we have the RAM installed, we can check if it was properly installed. Now I've read somewhere that you have to check the BIOS, but I still can't really do that off the top of my head. I always forget the ritual that you have to do. Press the F something key a number of times. But anyways, we're just gonna power it on. Kind of concerned me a little bit. Just gotta power it on, and we can actually just see the RAM in the system information. Alright, and this should be a quick boot up. Hold on, I have to enter my password. This should be off camera because it is personal information. And that is a quick boot up. Thank God for SSDs. I'm still not used to SSDs because my old laptop didn't have one, and I never installed one in my old laptop. So for me, it is quite the change, and it's an enjoyable change. All right, so we just have to open up a system here. Exit out of all these other things that I usually allow on startup to open up. Yeah, they're all opening up. Okay, so device specifications. Now, you can see how much RAM you've installed here. And, oh, yep, right here. It displays it right here in the About section of your system information. I don't know if you could specifically see that, but right here it says installed RAM 16 gigabytes. Before I checked earlier in the day, it was originally 8 and its usable was like 7.4, I believe. And then this one is now 15.4 since we just installed the RAM, the 2 new RAM cards. And yeah, if you do end up wanting it to make sure, aside from, you know, what it says in the system information, opening up your BIOS is also another good way to check if your RAM is properly installed. But I mean, you know, from there we've already seen that it has all 16 gigabytes of it. At least, well, not all of it, but the 15.4 usable. So that's pretty much it. RAM isn't just it isn't like from this experience, I guess, it isn't like a hard drive, or a, you know, like a solid state drive or M.2 NVMe drive, or they're not really drives, they're like chips, slots for the chips. But yeah, the drives, like storage drives, require partitioning, or just pretty much like, you know, you have to allocate space specifically for storage or whatever you want to use it for. But for RAM, it isn't that case. It's just a simple insertion, and then just checking if it's being properly read by the computer. So yeah, that pretty much ends this RAM upgrade video. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.